All right, guys, this is day 7 of becoming a godly man, and today I'm going to be talking about my own personal experience that I've had with God and how that's transformed where I'm at today specifically. So, a few months back, last summer actually, there was a day. I was a landscaper. I was on the job, and my former job, I was a landscaper. I was on a job by myself in like this house that was like in a field by itself, and it was the coolest thing because it felt so surreal to be there. And it was a small job. It was one day. Nobody was home. The homeowner wasn't there. My coworker was out getting material, and I remember just hearing this voice in my head. And it's a crazy thing to say because like lots of people will be like, "You didn't. Like, how do you know that was God?" It's weird, but like I knew in that moment that it was God speaking to me. And it's hard to say that because I can say that all I want, but it's sometimes hard to believe that for an outsider looking in on the situation. But I could hear a voice in my head, and it was pinpointing to God. And he said, "Danny, you could do more with this, with video." And that sounds wild because to a lot of my friends, they look at me and be like, "Wait, your dream was to do video. Like you've always dreamt of this." So it's actually really cool that he said that to you. But like, why are you saying that's like? Why are you putting it that way? Like, why are you wording it that way? And I'm saying it because that's how I heard it. He said, "Danny, you can do more with video." And right then and there, I stopped in my tracks, and I was like, I looked up, and I was like, why? Like, why are you saying this right now? Like, why are you? What? Because that year, I remember specifically, I was learning a whole lot in hardscaping/landscaping industry. That job was doing really well for me, to put it into better terms. And me and my wife had just got married the year before, and the job switch didn't really seem right at the time. So I was like a little taken aback. But at the same time, I was like, okay, listen, I'll hear you out. And ask him why. And like, how? Like, God, why would I do that to my family? Not just to my wife, but to the family business. Financially, how would I provide for our family? And I just heard back simply, it'll all work out. It'll be okay. And I was like, man, that's tough. So 2 weeks go by before I tell anyone. I finally open up to my wife about it, and I say, "Buddy, I had a wild encounter with, I think it was God." And I open up to her about it, and she's like, "Man, we gotta be in prayer about this, because that's a crazy step. Leaving a job that has been financially stable, leaving a job where I've been financially stable for the however many years it was, and taking on the new position." Of course, at the time, me and my wife, we had a wedding business. We did video and photo, all that. But all that to say, landscaping was my main source of income, and so it was like, and it was in the family, a hard decision. We pray about it. 2 months go by. I'm feeling like all the more like I think this is what God has for me. And it's hard to say, but I mean, through prayer and just constant repetition, going back to God and saying, like, is this, if this is your will, Lord, may it work out to how you seem fit. And so that's what we took as an answer. So I went to my family, and I literally started bawling out in front of my dad, bawling my eyes out, and just laid it out like, "Dad, I don't know what other way to put this, but I'm leaving the company and I'm taking this full time. And at first it was sort of a shock to my family, which is like very, obvious, because it's like, what the heck, you were doing so well here, like why would you go out and just do this, like now you don't even know what's to come. And at that time we just had to say yes to it. And flash forward another 3 months and I'm finally leaving. But the crazy thing was, that month that I decided to go and tell the family about it, work just started coming in like no other for me and my wife for our business, and video and photo, and it just started flooding in. And it was like, wow, God is really showing like himself to us this specific time, because we are submitting ourselves to his plan, saying, yes, God, I'll do it. And that gave us so much assurance, and we just went full into it. We just were like, all right, we're doing this. Went and did it, and we started out. And I mean, it was hard, of course, leaving the business, but it was really awesome seeing God work in this new season of life that we were entering in, because we were saying yes to something that we didn't see at the time, but now the fruits are starting to show up. Like, okay, wow, like this is what he was saying and this is why he said to do it. And that door opened a lot of other doors. Me and Justin were able to do Project Homecoming now. Like, I'm able to do this full time, and we're able to do these podcasts and these videos and push out this content to Instagram, social, like everywhere. And I'm able to do more with me and my wife's business, and other opportunities that are coming in. It's just amazing to see how God has worked his way in this situation, and it's such a blessing. And the whole point of this video is to say that, like, sometimes we may hear a call from God and it may seem scary to jump, but when you do take that leap of faith and jump in, it's pretty dang cool to see God work in that. And so I'd encourage you, if you're in a stage of life right now where you feel God urging you to do something, or just pushing you to go on that missions trip, or just join this church and get involved, like, take that step and see what happens. And I guarantee you'll see God work in a big way that you will just be astounded by. So take that leap of faith. Trust him. Trust in his plan, even when we can't see it.